a beautiful, standard poodle, whose father and mother were both national champs.
You're talking about
And
poodles.
Victor, was the most amazing dog. I mean, we had him for 14 years and he died, and that was a gift.
It's 5
from-
o'clock.
Okay, we just had the gavel hit.
Oh.
On the meeting.
I'm saying, who's talking? Hi, Sherry. Okay, we'll open with.
Recording in progress.
We'll open with public comments. Any comments from the public?
Ed DeFreitas. I just came because I saw the All Points Broadband
Yes.
rep was going to be here. I thought wanted to hear what he had to say.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Great.
Yes, would you like any comments? Okay, that's the end of the public comment part.
Anybody online? Okay.
Okay, the next thing we'll do, and then we'll go to APB, is the approval of minutes. Cherie had made comments, and I had no problems with her comment, and the only comment I added was change the date of the day's meeting. It said 12 May, the next meeting, it should be 9 June. So, and those were the only comments. Anybody else have any other comments?
No.
Do I hear a motion then?
I move to approve the minutes
A second.
All in favor?
with corrections.
With corrections?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, so moved. Okay. Okay. Gary, you want to do the introductions?
Well, I'll be short. We were fortunate enough to have All Points Broadband to join us for this meeting, and we're going to get an update on what's going on with the project. And this is Tom, right? Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't recognize you with the beard.
Oh.
Okay. This is Tom Ennis from All Points Broadband, and he is VP of Sales.
Sometimes, yeah. I work for the team that does our public-private partnerships, like the one that was successful in winning this VADI grant. So,
Okay.
but I can let me see if I can pull up a presentation. If you give me 1 second. Share. I think whoever is the host needs to enable participant screen share.
All right. Glenn's working it.
Give it another shot.
All right, share. LCBA, I'll put broadband. All
There we
right,
go.
Okay.
is that good?
You're on.
Okay, so some of this will be repeat information for those of you who are familiar with the project, but I'm going to start out with just a little bit of a reminder of what the project is, and then get into some helpful details for residents in the county, and then talk about the next steps and what folks will be seeing, hopefully, in the next month or two as progress. So a little bit, a reminder about All Points Broadband. We are a rural broadband company which focuses on areas that have traditionally been left unserved or underserved by incumbent wired providers in the past. And alongside that growth in demand in all areas, we have grown dramatically in the last several years and have been on Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies for 4 years. Last year, we added a lead equity sponsor called Searchlight Capital Partners. They are a global private equity firm that invests in fiber to the home, and through All Points and several other investments, they are the number 4 builder of fiber to the home broadband networks in the United States. That's the type of network that we will be building in Lancaster County and across Virginia. it's great to have them as not only a financial supporter, but also, a real strategic partner in helping us realize the grant opportunity and get that fiber in the ground or in the air in Lancaster. We also are fortunate to work with partners across Virginia who are electric utilities, and in Lancaster, that's Dominion Energy Virginia and the Northern Neck Electric Co-op. We have great relationships with these companies, and we really depend on them for attaching to their poles. And I think in Lancaster, it's about 4,600 poles that we're going to be attaching to. So we need them as partners, and in the both phase 1 and phase 2 of our Northern Neck Beatty grants, Dominion will be leveraging what's called the Utility Middle Mile Statute, which is a Virginia law that allows them to participate as a middle mile fiber provider. Without their support, we would not even have the fiber to connect to in many areas. And Northern Neck Electric Co-op has been a real leader here as well, and we're happy to partner with them in Lancaster and across the Northern Neck. Last year, including the Lancaster application, which was in partnership with the Northern Neck Planning District Commission, we submitted 5 of the top 10 scoring applications in this grant program. Just a reminder for those in the audience, so the Virginia Telecommunication Initiative is a grant program that is administered by the Department of Housing and Community Development. It is to get a broadband service to unserved areas of Virginia counties. And unserved means that you do not have access to 25 megabit by 3 megabit broadband from a wire. So if you can only get your internet from a satellite or your cell phone hotspot or what's called DSL at a low speed, then you are considered unserved. And the state agency, every year, they have a collection of applicants, and maybe 60 or 70 applications will come in, and the most competitive, probably 30 or 35, will get approved and funded. And last year, the Lancaster, Northumberland, and King George application submitted by the Northern Neck Planning District Commission was awarded. Now, Beatty announces the awards in December, and with the change in administration and just like contracting and process, there is about a 6-month delay between the award and actually starting the project, and we're nearing the end of that contracting phase now. As I said, the PDC was the actual grant applicant, and they will act as the administrator and the fiscal agent on behalf of Lancaster, King George, and Northumberland. We are combining, to the extent that we can administratively, combining this application with what we called phase 1 on the Northern Neck, which was King George, Northumberland, Richmond, and Westmoreland, where construction is ongoing in those counties now. And for Lancaster, this means that we already have crews in the field. We're already doing the work with the electric co-op and the contractors. So you're really benefiting from the phase 1 activity that's already underway. All Points Broadband is the grant co-applicant and the internet service provider. So you will, if you're a resident, you're going to purchase your internet service from All Points Broadband. If you have a problem with your internet service, you call All Points Broadband. You don't call, unless you want to, the Lancaster County Broadband Authority. Trouble tickets go to the ISP, and we work with resolving any issues. The other 2 partners are Dominion Energy Virginia and the Northern Neck Electric Co-op, and they provide middle mile fiber service in different ways from each company, but they're key partners to this program. For the just over 2,600 locations and 212 miles of fiber in the county, I put up a table here of the match. So we asked for $2.2 million from the state, the county match of $575,000, the Dominion investment of 4 million and the All Points Broadband investment of a little under 11 million get us to 17.7 million invested in your community in an asset that, can't go away and that you'll be using for years to come.
Tom, can I ask you a
Yeah.
question on that?
Sure.
Most of the points that you're doing, it's like 65%, are in Northern Neck Electric Co-op, may even be a little bit higher. Are they,
Yeah.
what are they doing to contribute to the project?
So they are contributing construction costs and CapEx offsets. So we're working with them to provide broadband service to elements in their network that need broadband connectivity. And in exchange for that, they're making the project more cost effective. So as a co-op, they do not have the same kind of rate adjustment clause opportunity that Dominion Energy has. So their participation is a little bit different when it comes to the grant application. So the way that Dominion participates is that if there are unserved locations in their service territory, and that has been decided by DHCD, Dominion can invest in middle mile fiber, and they charge All Points a rate to lease that fiber. And the difference between the lease revenue and the actual cost, Dominion presents to the State Corporation Commission and receives a rate adjustment clause for its ratepayers across its whole territory to make back the money that they spent on fiber broadband to unserved locations. And that, just as a co-op, that's not available to NNEC. So.
Okay. Can I
does that
then
answer
ask you a
the
question then? So you're saying they're going, essentially Northern Neck Electric Co-op is going to pay, they have 2 substations on the 354 Peninsula. Does that mean they're going to pay for essentially that main line to get into Richmond County, which is where they get their power from, I believe?
I'm not sure about those 2 specific substations, but I'd be happy to check with them and follow up with you.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. So when it comes to the VADI grant deployment principles, we want to build it once and right and include all unserved locations. And the ways that we do that is that we spend a lot of time finding the unserved locations. And on the previous slide, we had the amount from the county at $575,000, and there was a discount to the original proposed amount because you all have done more work than most counties in finding your unserved locations, and we appreciate that. And it takes a lot of work to get the unserved locations. We submit all of those to DHCD for verification, and there's a challenge process, and that has been resolved. So the number of locations in the project is set. We don't do any cherry picking. So we put terminals where we can connect to customers, even if it's a long drop or in a long driveway to get down to the end. We want to include everyone in the project. And a reason why our applications were so competitive is that we could show to the state that all or nearly all of the locations at the end of the project, all the locations in Lancaster would have access to broadband. Another thing that we do differently is that our standard drop length is 500 feet. For most incumbent cable providers, that's about twice of what the length is that they would offer for the standard drop. And another difference here is that any distance after that 500 feet, we would charge a very transparent per foot cost. I think right now it's about $1.25 or $1.30 per foot, but we would share that cost with the homeowner and with the county so that there is at least some transparency. I think a lot of folks in rural areas, they get a quote from a cable company that's $4,000 or $7,000 or seem to be made up out of thin air. And while we can't totally eliminate that cost, at least a per foot cost is transparent and you can determine where it came from. At the end of the RSA, it's a per foot cost or it's subsidized. So for the first 12 months in Lancaster County, if your drop is greater than 500 feet, we will waive that per foot charge. The 12-month period starts when your neighborhood is available to sign up for service. You will get more mailers and Facebook ads and door hangers and yard signs than you want to, and you will know that service is available. One of the metrics that we report to the state on is the take rate of customers, and what they call adoption. So we are highly motivated to get as many folks to sign up as possible, and really want people to take advantage of this opportunity.
So that 12 months is per community completion or per project completion?
We call it it's a fiber distribution area, an FDA.
Yeah.
And it's usually in groups of about 300 or 350 homes, depending on the geography. And we will tell you, Lancaster County FDA 2 was lit on June 1st, let's say. And so they would have until May 31st of the next year to sign up for that opportunity.
Can you make sure every time that happens, we get notification on it, the LCBA itself?
Yep. Through this program, you're going to get more monthly reports than, maybe not more than you care to, but there'll be plenty of reporting.
All right, thank you.
The other build it right, build it once principle is that we were going to use what's called XGS-PON. That is a network architecture that is going to deliver 10 gigabits by 10 gigabits in each direction to each location. So many people have heard of having gigabit broadband service. This is 10 times greater in each direction. And while that's not a service level that frankly anyone can use today, in 5 or 10 years, that may be the new normal. And so if you're making this kind of investment, you need to plan ahead. And all we will update in the future is basic electronics on either end of the fiber. So Lancaster is also benefiting from some of the economies of scale and labor utilization that's going on already on the Northern Neck. And to maximize this and make sure that the contracting teams have as much work as possible, we will design and permit and approve probably 3 or 4 months worth of work before the fiber construction begins. So I'll get to this later in the slide, but the next steps are going to be a design and a pole attachment review. So you'll see some crews out in the field in the next couple of months, but they're not going to be building fiber quite yet. They have to do engineering work for the poles. Those will be the first people you see out there. But once the work begins, the idea is to not have any labor shortage or downtime, because with the amount of fiber construction going on in the region, you don't have work for your crew. They're just going to go somewhere else. But there's enough going on in the Northern Neck and in Lancaster to keep folks occupied until the end of the Bay project. So I wanted to walk through quickly, and this will be shared. This is on our website, and I will share this afterwards as well. A quick example, this is up in Richmond County, of what residents can do at fiber.allpointsbroadband.com. So we want people to go to this website, put in your address. There's no commitment. So you put in your address and you click go, and it'll pop up a screen with an overhead Google image of your location. And I'm not sure if it shows up on the screen here, but you can see a little blue marker. This program lets a homeowner drag that marker and put it on their house. Not a detached garage or a shed or anything, but on your house where you want the drop. This helps us verify, the cost estimate to the location, and it also allows a homeowner to verify that they're in the Lancaster County unserved project. So that's step one. And then step 2 is if you're in the project, you'll get this notice that says, good news, you're included. It may ask you some other survey questions that you can respond if you want, but the important information here is to include your contact info, which is an email address, and submit it so that you get a notice about 90 days in advance of when service is available, that you can go ahead and sign up for service and start scheduling your install. You do not need to go to this website and pre-register to be included in the project. You're included if you're unserved and you're in the Beatty project, but we strongly encourage people to go to this website. And I got the count later on. I think it's about 600 folks in Lancaster have already signed up. So that's what will happen if you're in the project and you complete the project process, submit your address, and then you'll have a user dashboard where you can make changes and change your contact info if you'd like. If you log into this system and you are considered served, which means you're outside of our Beatty project, but let's say you've gotten a quote from a existing cable provider and they charged you $4,000 to install service at your house. You want to put that information in this survey, and we in the county can use this to try to get service to you in the future. We can't change the status of inclusion in the current project, but if we're able to demonstrate to the state in the future that your location is unserved, this is the place to enter that information. And the most frequent case here is that on the map that service providers report to the Federal Communication Commission, it says they provide service in an area, but when you actually sign up, it costs you a whole lot more than they advertise, and that technically means that you're unserved. But for grant purposes, you're typically blocked from participating in a grant because the provider says that they offer service. So we strongly encourage people to go to these locations. I think, in Lancaster with your other programs, there's fewer of these locations than most counties, but I would still encourage people to go here. And it'll ask you to confirm your email address so you can keep in touch and be updated when services are available.
And Tom,
Yeah.
before you go on, question about the service. Say you build a new house, okay, and it's on a street where something's, you guys are obviously building, would have been in an unserved area. If you looked at it from a how are those going to be added? Those people would send you their address. You'd say, well, it wasn't picked for this project, but we're doing it anyway?
So a couple of things. With the XGS pond architecture, we're building a lot of excess capacity to meet the future demand. And that includes people, moving into what is considered an unserved area already. But if you are a new homeowner and you just built your house there and you didn't live there, last year when the application was submitted, I strongly encourage you to go to this website. And if you get the, let's see here. If you get this good news, you're in the project, then you're in. I would say, so let's see, for your example, trying to think of what the right steps would be. If you build a new house on a parcel that's not included in the project, but is unserved, still have them do this, and if they contact you, that may be like a one-off thing that you can email me about, and I'm not sure. I know we can't add them to the project unless they get this response. So have them go to the website. If they don't get this response, the good news response, just shoot me an email.
Okay. So those ones I recently sent you, then what we should be telling people, we should have a pop-up when we make that public, this map, for those points, they sign up on the APB sign up, should be coming up with those points. Is that?
Yeah, they should go to this website, and if they get the, we believe that this location is served, then we know that they're not in the project, but if they get, if they get this, the good news, then they are in the project. And
Okay.
I wish we could change it as we went along, but they take a stamp in time about what is served or unserved for the grant program, and we can't really, at this point, we can't really change it.
Okay.
But it's not to say we can't address unserved locations in the future that maybe slip through the cracks. And the state agency encourages people, encourages counties and ISPs to continue working on the problem. So if we go back to them this year or next year and say, hey, we got 100 more locations or 80 more locations, you would be eligible for more funding if they're unserved. Let's see here.
Well,
All right, so we get
hold on.
into, yeah.
Go ahead, Tom.
Oh, sorry. Just a reminder of the service levels. So we have a 50 megabit, 100 megabit, and gigabit service. This was what is listed as the rack rate in our application, and this will change over time, and we will run promotions. But this is the rack rate of our broadband plans. And I think right now we're doing a sign up now, 50% off of install. And I think some of the recurring fees, we have a promo running as well. But we're going to try to get take rates up as much as we can. This is just the rack rate. When it comes to affordability, so there's a federal program called the Affordable Connectivity Program. It started out as the Emergency Broadband Benefit Program. This offers $30 a month discount on the recurring fee of your broadband service to eligible households that register through the federal system. And the federal system, that shouldn't scare people away. It will be very user-friendly. It will have a service on our website to help folks document this eligibility. But it's for households that, for example, are at or below 200% of the federal poverty line. If a member of the household participates in nutrition assistance programs, if you have school children at a school where they participate in free or reduced lunch, there's a lot of tribal qualifications. This is meant to make broadband more affordable, and so all of our service plans are eligible for this. So if you signed up for the 50 megabit plan at $59.99 and you're an eligible household and you went through the process to set it up, which takes 5 or 10 minutes, your bill would be $29.99 without other discounts. So that's the recurring discount on the Affordable Connectivity Program. It's managed by a third party, but it'll be on our website. We'll make it as easy as we can for folks.
So question going back to the free lunch
Yeah.
thing. Every kid in Lancaster County gets free lunch.
Then every household with a child in school is eligible for this program. So I don't know if that was intentional when they set up the Affordable Connectivity Program, but that's how it works. And so in any household with a child like you described, they are all eligible for this program. So that's great for those households. They will get a $30 a month discount. I believe the bucket for this is 14 point something billion dollars, 14.3 billion maybe. And it seems like a federal program that's probably not going to go away. So I would encourage folks to sign up for this when it's available. I am 99.9% sure that the other broadband providers do offer this as well. I'm sure BreezeLine does. So I would encourage them to sign up for this as soon as they can. It's open today, so. The other savings that I talked about a little bit earlier was the 12-month waiver of the variable component of the standard install for a standard drop. This happens when an FDA is lit. It's about 300 to 350 homes. We will tell you all when the clock starts on each one. And after the waiver window, there will be a per foot charge for the long drop area or distance. So some of the next steps and things to keep an eye on, we have been working at a leadership level, probably weekly with NNEC to improve the pole attachment and make-ready process in other parts of the Northern Neck, and we're going to leverage that efficiency in Lancaster. A firm called Davy Resource Group will be in Lancaster probably in about 6 weeks, maybe 7 or 8 weeks. They will begin the pole attachment and make-ready surveys. So there'll be folks out on the road with the high-vis vests, taking pictures, measuring, and inventorying all of the poles to be submitted for pole attachment and make-ready. We have a lot of materials and electronics that have been ordered. They're warehoused up in Richmond County initially in Warsaw, and even at the NNEC facility there. We also have a number of inventory items stocked at our distributor site in Ashland. One of the things that made our application competitive in an environment where supply chain risk was an issue was that we have a cable manufacturer called AFL Global commit not only the count of fiber, but the actual manufacturing capacity in their plant in South Carolina to build the fiber for the project in Lancaster County. And that was part of our application. And I think a reason that, we're slightly more competitive than most applicants is that they wanted to see some evidence of supply chain risk mitigation, and that's a big one. Again, I strongly encourage folks to go to the fiber.allpointsbroadband.com account. I checked 30 minutes ago, and 611 people in Lancaster in the unserved areas had pre-registered. I think there's probably, let's see, may have been about 100 more. I think about 100 more maybe officially outside of the project area that have been there to the website, but that's a good sign up rate so far. And I would encourage you all to promote that website as best you can. So with that, I would welcome questions that I can answer. Oh, I was asked to hit in. So one of the guys on the OSP, the outside plant team, popped into my office and asked about assistance for locating a couple of head-end locations in the county for the network. And Nicholas, I can get with you or whomever would be the best contact on that. There was a question on our side. But happy to answer any of your questions.
Tom, first of all, thank you for the presentation. And could you send us these slides?
Sure.
This is something good that people can see because this is being filmed. We want to have it up on our website for people who don't get a chance to hear this. Second, I've mentioned it to Jimmy a few times. I'm going to write an article taking some of this and put it in the paper. Since not everybody in Lancaster has broadband, they can't see it. So we'd like to summarize this, which I can send to you, to Jimmy, whoever you want, prior to it being submitted to the paper.
Yeah.
But that gets to our unserved individuals who need to see this also. It won't be all of this, but I'll summarize into a few paragraphs, the major points, and especially highlighting the where they can register. See where
Yeah, that would be fine. And I think as you mentioned, that's a good medium to contact people in this very situation. But I would appreciate running it by us just in advance so we can
Who
take a
should
look
it
at
be
it. and
sent,
make
should
sure
it be
everything's
sent to
efficient.
you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, Bill, is there any more questions here? We should take, we have some people who came here specifically to hear what you had to say, and I think we should take a few from the audience if they had questions.
I'm a homeowner in Lancaster County, and I'm a little confused. I registered on the dashboard months ago, and how does one determine if their address is in a project? Is that on that? I can't seem to find it on the dashboard.
Yeah, so it is, if you go to that dashboard and it says Lancaster County unserved, that means that you are in the project area.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and another common issue that we've seen with folks who go to the website and say, well, my location's already registered, but I didn't do that. Usually it's your spouse did it and they didn't tell you. That's one issue that we've seen. We actually, yeah, so that's one issue. The other is that you can feel like you're unserved, but not technically in the project. But if you go to that website and the website says Lancaster County unserved, then you are in this VADI project.
So is there any way for a customer to get back to see their service status once they've registered? Is there like look me up or something like that?
There should be, when you go to it, it should say this location has pre-registered, and you should be able to log in and see your status.
Yeah, I can do that, and
Right.
it shows
Yeah.
unsecured.
And this isn't to, you're not putting in your credit card information for the service, you're not scheduling your install. This is mainly to determine whether or not your location's in the project area, and then to sign up for the notification in advance in an email, so that we'll tell you, hey, we're coming to your neighborhood in 60 days, sign up at this website, or hey, we're doing construction down the road, you may see us, we're coming soon. Those kinds of updates, but it's not any obligation to take the service. And you don't need to pre-register on this website to be eligible, but we strongly encourage it.
A second thing, I may be getting too deep in the woods, but about what the specific project for our neighborhood involves two contractors. Breeze Line is the other one. And I guess you're both going to run cable all the way down the same road. But what's interesting is Breeze Line has put in buried conduit all the way down the road, or almost all the way. And they've hung wire off the poles to support fiber optic cable as well. And I stopped and asked them why they were doing both. And they said, we made a mistake. We've got to take down the wire. So.
They didn't have that agreement. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, Tom. My name is Frederick Cabosel. I'm a resident of Whitestone, Virginia for the past 2 years. I moved from Arlington, Virginia, where I had 1 gig upload and 1 gig download every day of the day. I came here and they told me, and I asked about the economy in the region, and they told me to bring my own job, which I did, and my wife too. But we're basically relying on the internet. And so we have asked around, and actually we have filled out what you've been talking about in your presentation. We have went online and we have filled all the information necessary, and we haven't heard anything from you since. We have lobbied our neighbors to do the same, and they have done the same as well. They have filled out the application, they entered their name and email address, and nothing happened. Really, it seems like, yeah, we are doing all that, but is it something happening? Is there a map where we could visually see online, yes, service is planned to be here by 2024 or 2023, or something more visual for the people to be aware of what's going on? Because at this point, we don't know. We are lucky to have the board here of Broadband Authority do works for us on our behalf, and hopefully eventually we'll get some service. But at this point, it's very unclear for the people to know what's going on. Earlier on, you said, well, don't call the board for, if your internet is not working, call us. And that's kind of like, it's funny about it, but people are not aware, and they will call the board because they don't know, who to address their concern to. So my question as well is, as the person before mentioned, there is, apparently there is two companies. There is you, All Point Broadband, and then there is Breezeline. And but we don't know who's working in our street. For instance, I live on a small street in Blue Heron Lane. I don't know if that means anything to you. But we've seen people dropping cable on one part of the street. We've seen people dropping cable on another part of the street. And we asked them, are you guys going to go all the way down to our street to see if we could have internet? And they say, oh, we don't know. Nobody kind of know. They just, of course I understand they're independent contractors and they don't really know what are the big plans for the county. But it would be nice if you could, or if someone could, make a map with very distinctive area, because we are kind of selfish. We care about our own little neighborhood because we don't have internet. So we're like, and then the people across the cove from us has like high-speed internet. Like people 150 yards from me that live in Hidden Cove, for example, have high-speed internet there, but we don't. We're 150 yards from them. So it would be nice if we know. Especially, I mean, we would love to have you on our street. Please come as soon as possible. Been waiting for 2 years. I mean, I like the promises, but for instance, like if you address T-Mobile, for instance, like I will contact T-Mobile, I'll look on their map, and it's all beautiful and pink, and they say we have 5G internet, home internet in our area. Well, yeah, we don't have anything because I order all T-Mobile wire routers and phone, and there is no signal at all. There's not even 4G there. But yet they are claiming we have, internet there. I hope you're not the same business, like claiming that you're going to develop a business, then nothing happened. Then in the meantime, federal funds and state funds goes into your pocket, like they goes to T-Mobile pocket, like they goes to Elon Musk, which promised since last year.
Can I interrupt here?
I'm sorry.
I understand the frustrations. We all have them. What APB is doing, they looked up, same thing, we work with them.
I'm sorry, Tom. Thank you for your presentation.
It's okay. I'm just saying.
I start to enroll and I'm just not stopping. Sorry, Tom. I appreciate it.
You can look at our website under projects.
I did already.
Okay, so you'll see where Breezeline is and where there's a separate project on this, of which they've committed to 2,641 homes.
Okay.
Okay, and there's some other homes, and we're trying to figure out. You're not in the area where we're trying to figure out, because we also know we have some people who are still unserved, and we're trying to figure out funding. It's more than likely one of these ISPs will resolve that issue.
Okay, I hope so.
And then maybe Tom can give us a schedule of what the
Yeah.
final completion
me-
is.
Let me try to address, some of
thank
those
you, Tom.
concerns, which
Sorry.
are, very reasonable and the exact same concerns that I would have if I were in your position. So, a couple of things, and hopefully this isn't like a shotgun blast of info, but, in a lot of areas, on the Northern Neck and in Lancaster County, there are pockets of served and unserved, and they may be like right next to each other. And while it may not make sense now, the existing cable networks are an accumulation of legacy networks from Breezeline to its predecessor Atlantic or MetroCast or Adelphia or whomever built these networks incrementally over the last couple of decades. And so while it may not make sense today, while some neighborhoods on one side of the creek are served and the others are not, it's because it wasn't economically feasible to serve everyone in the past. And what we've had in the last couple of years are state and federal programs that provide the funding to build into uneconomical parts of the county. One program is the Rural Digital Opportunity Fund, of which we're a participant, and there's other participants in Lancaster County, and they're building those networks on a timeline that satisfies that federal program, which is incrementally building out 10 or 20% of service over the next 6 years. For the All Points locations that we are participating in the Rural Digital Opportunity Fund, those will all be done by the end of next year, along with the rest of the 2641 locations in Lancaster County. So I know that the start date is frustrating. That's what we all want to know. It's just a little bit more ambiguous than what we would like. And part of that has to do with, part of the frustration has to do with the timing of announcing the award. So we applied for the money in September, and we were told, great, in December, you won, you're going to get this funding for broadband. But it doesn't actually start until in this case, the PDC, the Northern Neck Planning District Commission, which is the fiscal agent for the county, doesn't actually start until they get under contract. And those contracts are still being finalized by the Department of Housing and Community Development. So there is a reason why the former administration at the governor's level wanted to announce this in December, and we have not finalized the contract with the state agency yet, so the project hasn't officially begun.
And to relax your mind
We've
on
done
them getting money and
a lot
going.
of design work and buying of materials and lining up the contractors and all that, before the project start. But that's why you have not seen progress, and you were able to sign up on the website but not actually see anything. It's a state program that just hasn't officially begun. But once it does, we are all very motivated to get as many people signed up as possible. LCBA, the ISP, the county, the state agency, they want to show a lot of progress here, and Virginia is, I would say, leading the way in the country for funding broadband projects to unserved areas. And for example, the head of the broadband program is going to be speaking at the National Fiber Connectivity Conference in Nashville on Tuesday, and other states are learning from Virginia. And so while I know that it's frustrating, and there's not a lot of clarity on the exact schedule, but it is coming. We are obligated. We don't get any of the grant funding until we actually do the work. So some grants, they would award the money and then say, okay, private sector partner, please go out and build this. And in this case is reversed. We go out and we do the design work, we do the fiber mile construction, and we provide service to the fiber distribution area. We provide a report then to the Planning District Commission and DHCD, and if they approve it, then we get paid for a portion of the cost. So we are very motivated to get the work done. We don't, obviously we can't have a customer without the work done, but we also don't comply with the grant unless work gets done. So it's kind of a rant. Sorry about that, but you'll start seeing people invest out in the roads the next 6 to 8 weeks, and they're going to do the pole attachment work. The breeze line work that you described, that may be for an earlier grant application. And there may be some areas where we build in the neighborhood, and one side of the street is receiving service from breeze line, one side receives service from All Points Broadband. But I think most of that is 1 year ahead in the grant cycle than our project.
Tom, I'd like
I think I got that. Did I miss any aspect?
No, I did clarify one thing. I just want to make sure I heard this right. You said, I know APB, yes, you're in RDOF, and one of the gentlemen here is on a street that Breeze Line has part and the rest comes in under RDOF. Now, you're saying, because APB is going to be here anyway in the county, that by the end of 2023, you will have completed those areas that you won via RDOF.
Yes, if we have an RDOF location and it's in our grant application, which is all of our RDOF, we are bound by the terms of the grant, the Virginia state grant, even if it's a quote, an RDOF location for us.
Okay. You had a question?
No, I was just going to state what Tom stated. They don't get paid unless they do the work,
Yeah, I understand.
so.
Yeah, so there's 3 categories, what they call their milestones. So one is releasing a mile from low-level design. So that's the guys going out and doing the pole analysis, submitting it to NNEC, getting approval, getting the make-ready done. All of that work is kind of before the fiber construction. So that's a milestone category that we report on. Next is the actual miles of fiber being constructed in the county. And then the third category is when we release an FDA and we say it's lit and that 12-month period starts, then we get, that's the third category of milestone is can someone sign up for service? So all the cost of buying the electronics from Calix or Annixter, Wesco, or whoever we buy stuff from today, if it's going in your house, we're not asking for remittance until you can actually get service. And we think that's a fair, transparent way to run the program, and it's a cost remittance program anyway. So those are the milestones that we are held accountable for.
Any other questions, Craig?
Yes, ma'am. Tom, with the delayed, it looks like to me anyway, and I'm sort of new on this. I'm the newest supervisor sitting in on the committee. Looks like with the delayed start, do you see any problem making the end of 2023 that I've been hearing as the completion time? Do you see any problem with that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
An area of concern would be pole attachments and make ready, and we've made a lot of progress with NNEC in smoothing out that, and we're rocking and rolling. And as long as we keep the foot on the gas pedal, we will be okay.
Yeah, if you see any change in that, I would appreciate if you let us know, because we've been trying to inform people of the 2023 date, because most people want it sooner rather than later, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And now, if the contracting period takes another 3 months, then that may be different, but I don't expect that.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
Ma'am? Question?
Tom, first of all, thank you for coming and providing the update. And I'll thank you ahead of time that you're going to provide us the slides so we can put them on our website and use them as the basis for the article that we'll write, so all the residents of the county can, see what APB is doing and put the website, et cetera, et cetera.
What was your expected timeline on the article?
If you get us the slides, like today, it'd be, say, another week.
Okay.
Or would you have something else you want to get out ahead of time?
No, I just, you may get an out-of-office response while I'm at this conference on Monday and Tuesday. That's it.
Oh, no,
big deal.
that's fine. I mean, an extra few days is not going to hurt, but we'd like to do it sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Where are you, the Grand Ole Opry?
Okay. Thank you very much, Tom. Appreciate it. And I know
Yes.
all of us and the residents of the county appreciate you taking the time to provide the information. Okay.
Yeah, and I share the concern about the schedule and the information. I think, overall, not everybody won their grant application. Everyone who partnered with All Points did, but it was a competitive process. We are fortunate to be in the position that we're in terms of having Dominion and NNEC as partners. And I think if you look at the dollar amount that the county is investing, you're getting a great asset here that's going to really serve the residents for the next generation. So I'm happy to be part of the project.
Thank you. We're glad you're here, too.
All right. Thank you all.
All right. Take care. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's go on with the agenda. Nicholas, you want to do the update for Vatty?
Sure. What I'm going to give the update on is the DADI grant application. We are participating with Breezeline, the other provider. And just a lot of activity going on in the county. In 3 areas, Dawson Avenue, Field Drive, and Cherry Point, they have actually started splicing the fiber optic cable that's in place. Once that fiber is spliced, it will be turned over to operations, and then it will be ready for customers. Why that's going on, splicing is scheduled to begin in another 7 areas in Lancaster County. So there are, I think, 22 total areas in Lancaster County, so almost half of them will have splicing activity by next week. Regarding construction activity, strand placement is, it was kind of alluded to before in public comments. The strand is the metallic cable that's placed on the poles, and then the fiber optic cable is lashed to that. There's 43,000 feet of that place, which represents 63% of the total strand placement that needs to be done. On underground conduits, we have almost 71,000 feet of conduits placed underground, and that represents 59% of the total conduits that need to be placed in Lancaster County. Aerial fiber that is placed on the strand is a little over 22,000 feet, and that represents 61% of the total area fiber that needs to be placed. And underground fiber placed in the conduits is almost just shy of 50,000 feet, and that represents 39% of the total footage that needs to be placed underground. So we're making great headway on the construction side. There's a couple of possible potential delays on procurement, but none that should impact the overall project timeline. So, if there's any questions on the Breezeline construction update, please don't hesitate to ask.
No?
So the numbers you just gave us are the same numbers from the email like 6 days ago? Or are they updated?
They changed slightly.
All right.
The one weekend on Memorial Day week, nothing really changed because VDOT has a restriction on road construction, usually the day before, the day after. So that kind of hurt that week. But On the construction activity, there, I guess more of the activity is in place moving into the splicing arena.
Okay. Okay, BTS. Nick, Gary, whoever wants to address that.
BTS on the fixed wireless program, we have no change as of last month as the 228 fixed wireless customers that are signed up. However, there are 30 in the pipeline with some adjustments that they're making to the network that should be reachable. So hopefully we'll see, and we'll see those come online, at least those 30, and increase that number significantly. So we're getting closer to the 300 original mark, but it's still, at the end of the day, there's 228 people that have broadband that didn't have before. So that's overall, it seems to be working well. I haven't received any complaints. I know they had some initially when they turned up and they made some changes, and it's been pretty stable since then. The smart poles, on the other hand, is kind of a different story. Of the 8 smart poles, only 2 are in service, which is not good. However, there are the problems with the smart poles that are not working have been identified. Products have been, 2 of them need batteries, which will be delivered by tomorrow and the business day, and then hopefully will be installed right after they receive shipment. That will be the courthouse and Mark parking lot poles that need the batteries for service. There's 4 more that the fixed wireless paths need to be realigned. And then the Boys and Girls Club access point site needs a new access point, which is ordered. And hopefully once all these pieces come in, they'll put them in, install them, and we'll have everything up and running again. We are kind of pressing them to get some key performance indicators so we can see what the health of the network is, the performance of it, and make sure that the residents of Lancaster County are being served consistently with a good product. But it has been a struggle to this point.
Okay. Thanks, Nicholas. Gary, you want to talk? Have you got your map up?
Yep, that's what okay. This is still in, not even in beta form. It's in alpha form at this point. But just to give you an idea, what we have tried to do is actually go ahead and take all the data we have from all the grants. And then, unfortunately, there's confidential information as to what is served and what is not served by BreezeLine. They won't give us that information. So what we've taken, we know how many unserved homes are from the Virginia maps and the FCC maps, and we come out with a number of homes. It was 3,039 homes in our county that are unserved. So what we were trying to do, so we made the assumption, it's not a good assumption, but if we take those and subtract them, that gives you essentially what BreezeLine should be covering, okay? Those would be, can you see blue and green difference there? Okay, if you, let me put on my glasses, make sure. Okay, the blue is considered served, okay? Yellow is the current VATI project on there, okay? And then green is what you heard Tom talking about. That's the 2,641 points. The BreezeLine project is 314 homes, okay? The red dots are what we've essentially found that doesn't work. And what I want to do, let me just retype this.
Why don't you try his address?
What is your address?
What's your address, sir?
574 Blue Heron Lane.
Oh. Let's try just Blue Heron Lane. Okay, which number do you want to look at?
574, right there.
575.
574.
575.
Come down.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay, so this is going to zoom in, and according to this, as you surmise, you're going to be covered by All Points Broadband, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, and let me just close that a second so we can see. And you can see basically that's what's gonna run down this road. And you're right, this point here is, work is underway for the 2021 grant, which is with Breeze Line. So you're correct. We can't, the problem is, our objective is to get everybody in the county hooked up.
Yeah.
Okay? And we had a grant last year, it was around roughly 500 homes, I don't remember the exact number. It was shrunk because of this, RDOF evidently took precedent over everything, so it shrunk it down to 314 homes that are being done.
Might want to explain to them what RDOF is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and also, those 84 homes that we now have as unserved, okay, in the red, we believe that also came out of there. So you start adding all that up, and you say, oh goodness, this messed us up, and we have to find some other money to try and get these covered. It's not, we're not trying to leave anybody out.
Yes, yeah. No, I
But there's always gonna be someone who's first in line, and unfortunately, there are people at the end of the line.
So
And
what was the question for Tom? It has become a reveal of my frustration. I didn't mean to.
No,
do
no,
that.
you-
No, no,
No,
you
no,
have
it's okay.
every right.
Yeah,
It's just,
You're
I-
fine, you're
I had
fine.
actually a good question because I contacted Breeze Line, my neighbor did too,
Mhm.
to tell them that we are interested by service. And so we have a random answers. One say, oh, we will send a technician to see, what we can do. The other one say, oh, you're not on the map. We don't have you in our accounts. Another one say, oh, you're not part of the grant from the state to develop, internet in your street. So we don't really know as a.
Well, you are,
I'm sounding like I'm representing my neighbors, but I do. Because
Yeah, that's
the old
fine.
weekenders, I
Yeah.
live here and work here. The old weekenders, they bring revenues to
Oh.
the area. It's good to have them, and they want internet. They want that service that they have wherever they come from, Richmond or.
But there are some options, if you don't want to wait that long. We have a wireless service in town called Broadband Telecom
Yeah.
Services. I don't know if they can get you, I'm not promising that.
They don't.
Okay.
We tried
Okay.
already.
Oh, you tried.
Okay. The other thing is, you need to go back to talk to Breeze Line and said, how much money, it's all about money,
Yes.
okay? They will go into an area, but you're gonna have to pay for it
Yes.
to do that.
So we asked that question when we moved 2 years ago. They told us $25,000.
yeah.
6 months later, they asked us $95,000.
Well,
I haven't heard that.
but-
I saw the situation already.
but I would go back with your neighbors and then say, okay, you got, I don't know, how many neighbors do you have there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes. And say, what is it now? Okay, if you bring this service to us.
Yes.
Okay, now, most of the neighborhoods where the consumers have negotiated the deal, they've had about 20 or 30 homes.
Yes.
And then they came out, guaranteed 2-year contract to Breeze Line, it's a business. And then I think they had to pay $1,200 or $2,000
$1,200 for the,
each resident.
each resident.
Okay, $1,200 per resident. I don't know I can't promise you, this is Breeze Line's deal.
Yes.
That's what you have to do if you
Yeah.
want to do that.
But as it stands right now,
You're covered
You're
by the end
covered
of
in the grant.
2023. Yes.
2023?
By the end of, you just heard Tom say, by the end of 2023,
We will
dates,
have it.
you will have
You
it.
have it. That's why when he put in your address, it said right there, APB.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's
Do
why I
have
asked
access
him to
to
do
that
that.
map, or is it something?
Well, it's, as I said, it's not even beta form. It's
it's a
probably
work
gonna-
in progress.
It's a work in progress,
Okay.
because we want to put it on our website for all residents to do, but I'm giving you a flavor
Okay.
with a little bit of this.
So we will have all point broadband by the end of 2023.
Yes.
Yes,
Well, you heard from Tom today, that's what they were promising.
That's what they've been telling us, and that's why with that move back date, I was just worried, because that's what we've been told.
By the way, thank you so much for doing all that work for us. So thank you very much to all of you.
Well, thank you. The thing is, tell your neighbors. I mean, people want it when they can get it, and we understand, absolutely.
And all those people on APB, you need to sign up. You heard them.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And-
definitely
They all
sign
done,
up.
all my neighbors have done that already.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, anyway, this is
But you
for-
can let your neighbors know that y'all are in the grant group.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
As
part.
opposed to not being covered.
So
which
that's
I-
18 months from now, basically, 18 months from now, according to APB, 18 and a half months. You should have it by the end of 2023.
That's
This is now for LCBA.
It could be sooner. Batty,
Well, we're
Breeze
hoping
Line is
it's
going
sooner.
sooner, and these
Ju-
guys.
Just so you
should-
know, Dominion is in this first phase. That's why they're coming into our county at the end of 2022. They're making a circular loop through the 5 counties. They're getting into our county from 360 down to 200.
And that's
And
probably,
then they're going to work west to the Dominion
They're up.
building, and then they're going to go to the bridge. Well, I don't know which is first.
and that's realistically, that's why we partnered with APB. It had nothing to do with APB. It's all about Dominion, because Dominion's a big hitter, and they're not gonna let this fall, because they're under a pilot program with the state to see if this is even feasible, and they picked us, so it was like, that's the main reason we went with them, is because Dominion's backing them.
Okay. And here's the problem I wanted to talk with everybody tonight about, is unfortunately, the Virginia and the FCC maps use old 911 maps of ours. I think I've
Yeah,
sent
we
it
talked
to a
about this.
couple of them. So this is what it comes to, Field Trial Road, which is here. You see 3
dirt
blue dots up there.
It's the only dirt road in the county.
Yeah, but you can see it's also along the line of where APB is going in. This is what I was talking to him about. If these people sign up, are you hooking them up, or are we, because it may be another 150 unserved homes. So I want them, someone, we have 84 homes we know are not unserved right now.
But there's not 150 homes down Field Trial.
Oh, no, but new homes, there's
you.
159. We have to, it's
New
up to.
construction.
Okay. But I just know, in talking with Glenn, these are 3 brand-new homes that went up, well, it doesn't even have to be homes. It could be a barn, it could be a silo, but it's a structure that
Right.
was built on a property, so not all of them. There's some homes in here that are new homes. I don't know what this person's gonna do, these 3 homes here. They're so far off the road, and it's a dirt lane. I'm sorry, I gotta blow that up a lot. Still not.
Yeah, there they are.
See, that's what I'm confused about,
Yeah.
because if it's an unserved area, period, it's under the grant,
That's Marotica area.
Yeah.
while they're still.
Yes, you're right.
While they're still deploying, they should be covered. Now, after deployment, I can see it being an issue, but during deployment, that should be covered.
But again, they put in, you heard, Tom, they put in 2,641 homes. They're doing those. Okay. Now, the question is, how do we get him to do these? So I did it by difference, because the problem we ran into when you did some beta testing, hey, I
Right.
can't get my address.
Right.
What I want to do is have it come up served, Breeze Line.
Everybody's address, right.
Yeah, okay, or unserved, and you're being covered by X grant, or we're working on trying to get that. So my problem right now, I don't know what to mark these. Now, these are diamonds. Oh, you switched all of them to diamonds? Yeah. Okay. But we could have hopefully separate things or whatever, or we may even have to color code it different. But, we can't say that this is definitely covered by APB based on the discussion we just had.
Right,
That's
right.
it. Even though it makes sense, because that's part of their whole area. They just didn't have those new homes at that time. And you can see there's 1 or 2 on the shoreline here. I only show that because I know that well. We know, let's see, is that Nutsville Road there? Yeah. I believe so. I mean, make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, I think, that's the split. I know Breeze Line just goes to that intersection with their terminal, or the, not terminal, but the pedestal,
Sounds
pedestal.
Right.
Okay. So the question is, will they get these other homes that are off of that intersection here? You see, these are marked served. The green dots we know are part of the 2641,
Right.
but are they gonna cover the other people in that area? So, yeah, there's a lot, I'm sorry. There's a
Right.
lot of.
But, all right, so
Yeah.
let's go back to that section. All right, so if they're serving all three corners around that, how are they getting fiber in and not going past those
No,
homes?
no, that's what I'm saying, this house is not served, I knocked on their door, they don't have access, you know.
But you're
This was overstatement by, Breezeline.
Where all the green dots are, is
Yeah.
that Breeze Line or is that
That's the proposed APP.
All right, so if APB is running fiber,
Why wouldn't
how
they
is
get
their
that?
network not gonna, how are you gonna have your network come in and not connect these 2 points? How are you gonna run cable stop here and run cable stop here? It doesn't sound very.
No.
No, the APP will run, they have to run to that Y and then split it.
So those people will be included, those residents, that's what
Not-
we don't know.
That's what I'm trying to say. Right now, it's a question mark in my mind. I mean, right now, it's marked as served by Breezeline. Breezeline overstated that.
Which is, yeah, we know it is.
Okay. So that's my issue.
Why would they not have included those? That looks odd to me.
Because what he just said, Breeze Line told the FCC, we serve that area.
Oh, Breeze, okay, Breeze.
Even though they don't.
They don't.
Remember, I'm taking this as a difference, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they're really served. We're going to put in words, presumed served, because the other thing is, we can't guarantee everything, right?
Yeah.
These are two businesses, they're going to do what they're going to do,
Yeah,
okay? But that's some of my concern, is how do we go ahead and put this in this ledger before we make it public? Because I don't want anybody coming back, you said this.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're also gonna
Right.
have to have a disclaimer on that, where we put this link,
Would
to
be-
say,
do you think it's a case of we may need to find some more funding for these other?
that's
unserved
my,
homes?
that's my concern, okay?
Okay. Because I heard something on the radio today, and I just caught the tail end of it, that there was some federal funds becoming available, and Virginia was one of the
Yeah.
4 states.
Right, and what that does, it takes, right now, in this FATI application that's due roughly August, I don't remember the exact date,
Uh-huh,
they had already 50 million in there, which is actually a considerable amount of money, but it's not what it was last year. Last year was $750 million.
okay.
So what they decided, they had this discussion with the federal government, I don't know who makes the final decisions.
Yeah,
But they took 219 million, all of it, that the state of Virginia was going to do it. And they were going to put it in broadband, so instead of 50 million, it's 269.
19, okay.
Yeah, I think that's, yeah. And so that gives us a higher probability
Of
of
getting-
success. Because
Yeah.
my real concern, especially with the 84 homes, I can't, this is the problem I hate. So that's why I really wanted, we have to get out and get these people that I'm finding from the new homes to submit it to see if they're eligible for, what APB will come back and say. They also told me over the phone when I talked to them, look, we're gonna do a lot of homes, because we want the business. They're gonna do everything they can and have non-funded.
And I think there's some of this, we're gonna have to wait till it actually fleshes out to see where they run. Because me building a network myself, I can't see running this road here and not catching all those along the way. I know it's not in the daddy, I'm just
know, but
saying,
it
it
seems
would,
common
as a
sense
network
that somebody-
engineer, I'd be like, that's stupid.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's what we call, when we did our proposals.
Right.
A non-funded service area.
Right.
So now the question is, they don't have to abide by the rules for drops.
You know
So
what-
you heard him say, it's, the base price, I think, was $200 for a hookup. But he
No,
didn't
I
say
thought
it here, but
150.
previous.
I thought 150 was what they originally told us.
Well, yeah, but in the proposal it said 200. So it's roughly $200 for a hookup, but it didn't matter how far it ran.
right.
Okay, he's essentially saying, he didn't put down what the charge was. But he said basically, once you're over 500 feet, there's going to be an upcharge.
If
But
you're
it's
not
for-
within that 12-month window.
As long as you're in that 12-month window, that's what I'm saying, and that's consistent with
Yeah.
what they've said before. We just don't know, I'm assuming that's still $200 per hookup.
That window, we're gonna need to make sure people pay attention to that too, because
Yeah.
that's
When it
gonna,
starts.
that's
Yeah,
gonna go
absolutely.
from my $200 to, oh, I gotta pay $25,000.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And there's several homes, particularly, one that goes down 201. Where's 201?
I think you done shot past you.
That's it, no, there it is.
Yeah.
This one's marked served, but we know it's not, and it's a long drive. To, 4335.
But there didn't appear to be water between them, so why don't they backfill from 144? Why would you come all the way from Whitechapel?
Because that's remember, blue is breeze line.
Oh, two different pieces.
Okay. So that, you're talking two different types of plants.
There's some of these people, we're gonna have to, as a county, offer them point to point. Goes to the one person's house, like, look, we're gonna put a little thing on the side of the dish to hit that guy over there.
But this is a long one,
It's being done.
and it's not served. So now the question is, did they do it because I just want to be alone and satellite's good enough for me? But what we have to do is make this, and actually, even though this is all blue going down 201 Whitechapel Road, okay, APB is also going to run their fiber, they're going to, as you said,
It's gonna be
building a
overbuilt.
plant.
We already discussed this, there's gonna be overbuild,
Yeah,
so.
so,
That'd be competition.
yeah.
The C word,
Go
the
ahead.
C word.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So we have been labeled as unserviceable or?
Unserved.
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 No, by a breeze line. We called them and they said you are inaccessible or unserviceable.
That means they don't have fiber or cable, depending on
Yeah.
what technology.
That doesn't mean
Running
physically-
past your house.
That means they cannot access our house.
No, that just means physically they don't have cable down your way. Doesn't mean physically you
okay.
can't
Yeah.
be served.
They've just
Because it's
haven't got anything in.
confusing.
Oh, they do that on purpose so that you
Yeah.
don't call another provider and be
Can
like,
I show you like the state of our road right now quickly? I got copies
Thank you.
so you can follow.
All right, take care.
I don't want to waste more of your time, but
No, you're not wasting your time.
you can share.
Yeah, we can share. Oh, you got enough.
Yeah, I have. So, I'm sorry. So, this is Little Bay right here.
Yeah.
And they run cable like,
Yeah,
when was that?
And they're doing more.
Yeah.
Actually, APB is gonna run all the way down
to
They-
your
Middle
house.
Bay.
On May 14th, they did that, on May 14th. I take picture of them.
Yeah.
He's like, pays attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on May 14th, they run lines. Those people, they already have cable. They
Right.
already have high-speed antenna. There's 16 home here. There is 5 home here, and there is 7 home here. They all have, and that's where we live. My neighbor live right
You're
there,
up here.
where the houses are labeled with red numbers. So Breeze Line run that line on the Little Bay. They turn left onto what's the name again?
Dungeon's Thicket. Yeah.
And then left onto Blue Heron. This is our street. So they're on Blue Heron and they stop the line right here after the second pole.
Yeah.
They stop the line.
And it's because they won this RDOF, which was a federal, which evidently takes precedent over any other grant.
And
Okay.
RDOF, we had no control over.
Yeah, and we,
Okay.
yeah, whereas the Valley proposal, they have to come to the counties to approve
Okay.
it. The RDOF, all they did was
It was an auction.
ISPs work
It was
with
a
the
huge
federal
auction.
government. Yeah, it's an auction.
So does that mean then at some point the VATI will kick in and take it further down? Is that what that means?
With,
Well,
not gonna take them further down. APB's gonna actually service his area under
Okay,
the
so
VAT.
APB,
no, APB under his grant, they own the RDOF.
RDOF.
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So they
it's-
would pick up from that point and go down?
No, they're probably gonna run their own fiber.
Sorry, you
they'll
don't
run
see
their
this,
own
but I can
fiber.
show you.
No,
Yeah.
they will come down the whole.
They'll do one or two things. They'll either look at the cost of it and run their own fiber, or since they have to service that area, they'll see, well, who has fiber in the neighborhood already, and they'll lease a strand of fiber from who's already established.
And
That makes
Craig,
sense.
to give you an understanding, if you look down Fleets Bay Road, which is
Yeah.
our top peninsula on the eastern part of our county, the county line runs on the water
Yep.
up there, you can see it's all red, except for that blue dot.
26.
Okay, but that's not served. That was, it's because of how we calculated it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so it's a red dot, okay? And you can see ABB, yellow is part of the VATI grant. So there was a line at this road, don't ask me why they picked that road, but that was the RDOF, what they determined, but FCC mapping, that this area from that road back is not served. Okay, so some of this is diced up based on the grants, and where people already have plans.
So what's more interesting is, so the line stop here, right, on Blue Heron? And then in March of this year, they installed a line onto Hidden Cove, the blue dotted line.
Yeah, no, we understand, and all this is predicated based on grants and how it was divided up. We don't control all that.
It's pretty interesting that there is like 3 phone poles separation between the lines.
I understand,
Yep.
and I can't go ahead and,
It's like, the way I understand it, and I'm new to this too, it is confusing, but it looks like there's multiple players, and they're
Okay, thank
all, you gotta work through the multiple players of who's doing what. And maybe I'm very simplistic in that, but that's what it
Well,
sounds
he's right
like.
though, because what started off is we were covering all this stuff with VATI. And then RDOF came out of the blue. And it basically was, Fed government came in, chopped up all these sections and threw them up for auction.
And you
Yeah.
didn't have any,
No.
you didn't have any.
No, we had no say over
No
that.
state, no, this was
No,
across the country. Nobody had
yeah,
a say.
and it's based on census blocks and
Okay.
groups, okay? And so.
And FCC
Yeah,
maps.
and
Which is a
FCC maps.
disaster.
Right. And now we've got it to where we're getting, or
It's-
slowly, the FCC is taking the local maps
Yep.
and integrating it into their maps so they can get true
And
coverage.
the other problem, some of the rules in FCC, it used to be one home in a census block eliminated the whole census block. So you may have hundreds of homes in there that are truly unserved, but then
That one home-
that one
One home.
home eliminated from there. So that, now they're trying to be more
But things-
granular, which is what you hear me talking about. You can do essentially polygons, okay, and just shade areas. But I find having the points much better. I think Glenn, as a GIS guy, prefers the polygons. But when you look, everybody wants to know, what about my house?
And then they did come along, like when we first started this journey,
Mm-hmm.
cell phone counted, satellite counted.
Yeah.
Well, now cell phone and satellite coverage don't count. So it's slow, the FCC's finally opening their eyes, and like you said, T-Mobile says it covers all this area, they're like, oh, no, they
Yeah,
don't.
and I don't know if you're familiar with the term GAO. It's a government watchdog group.
Government Accounting Office.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And about 3 years ago, a group of senators complained because rules, NTIA is their technical group, but most of the money was going to either USDA agricultural group to help disperse money for rural areas, or FCC, this bigger program. And so they were complaining about that there was overlap and whatnot. And so they're trying to figure all this out. And I think the good news is, the state has pushed it now for this year. The minimum performance is 100 megabits down and up.
Right.
Which
Which
is
changed
good.
from
It's much better than
25.
25.3 to now it's 100. We'd love it to get it to gigabit, but it's going to take time
That's
to get there.
tomorrow.
And then the
That's
state
tomorrow.
also came back and stopped the cash grab people, which you were worried about, and said, look, we're only gonna pay you for what you've completed. We're not gonna pay you for what you might do. So that's turned into a huge benefit for us.
Yeah.
And
So-
what,
And the state also made the decision, we're not going to support the satellite groups. So that allowed APB to bid that peninsula where I showed. They didn't say APB, again, this is competitive nature in the businesses. They saw Breezeline putting in make ready for the middle part of that peninsula, and they said, oh no, you can't do that, those 20 homes, which is disappointing. But, so that's why they're still open, those 20 homes in our county, that we have to do it. But they thought Breezeline was going all the way in. They were staying out of the RDOF area.
They were just trying to scare them.
Yeah.
That's all they were trying to do.
And so that wasn't done, so that would have been completed. So the bottom line is, there's two businesses competing for areas, that no one wants to give up an area. And then you're also trying to figure out what the government funding is with. But anyway,
So APB is gonna come to our street, but is it possible that Breezeline deciding to go to?
Nothing stops Breezeline from going to that area.
anybody can go in anybody's area if they want to pay for it, or if you want to pay for
So,
it.
just
Let's
so,
say Breezeline decide, oh, I'm gonna go to that neighborhood actually, because there's 6 houses that want service.
APB still has to go.
So they have to go.
Yeah,
Not
it was
Breezeline.
snapshotted at a period of time,
Yeah.
and that's what you build off. You don't build off of what they did yesterday and the next day.
No, but Breezeline can go, but they have to pay for it,
Yeah.
or
They
get
have to
you
do
as a,
themselves.
Yeah,
or get
not
you
to
as a
a value.
customer to pay for it.
Pay for it, so
Yeah.
you
Thank
might.
you so much, that was so helpful to make sense in all that.
Are you saying the service now is where this dotted line is? I just want to make sure.
He's
I
saying
understand.
So,
ran
yeah,
cable.
so they draw this one,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they drop the cable here.
Yeah.
And they draw one here, and they drop the cable here.
Okay.
So
They
that,
just don't wanna go there.
that red X where they drop that cable?
Yeah,
is
the
there
red
ca-
X is when
Is
they
their
drop the
cable
cable.
spooled there?
So again?
Is it spooled there? Do you see
Yeah,
like a big bundle
circle
just
on the-
hanging?
Yeah.
On the phone line, yeah.
So yeah, they're planning on making that connection.
Yeah, they may be or may not be.
It might be make ready on those 3 poles.
But what's interesting is this part they did, and they stop here.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
The blue one.
a lot of it is money.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Oh, Craig, that, what you heard on the radio,
Yeah.
Cherie provided us that article. We'll put it on the
Okay.
website,
Okay.
so you can see about the 200,
Okay.
there's 4
And-
states.
Anyway, what I want to get from you guys is some direction on what you would like to see.
Get ready, anything that's blue and green, because I'm blue-green colorblind and I can't read half the stuff we put up there.
Okay, sorry about that, Kevin.
You
Oh,
always know he's gonna bring that up.
Okay, we'll try and,
I mean, just use colors that colorblind people can see. That's all I'm asking.
what, black?
No, we can see colors. You can't use blue, red, or green. You've got to use a color that
Like
is
yellow,
Yellow, we can see very well.
Uh,
Green's
purple.
really not that bad. It's pretty good.
yeah, especially this
My
one.
son can't see yellow, he's colorblind.
Is he full-blown colorblind though?
So,
See, people hear colorblind,
No,
they instantly think we see
he's like
black
a
and
yellow
white. That's not
blinking
how it
white.
works.
He's
Stop.
white. I can't use white,
That
white on white.
We'll try and work on some, that's
Well,
fine.
I just want,
But what I wanted
I
to
just wanted
know
to-
is,
Nicholas has some.
Karen, give me 1 second. We have additional grants that are coming out also that we're working with, second round of value grants,
right,
to fill in and make sure that everybody gets served also.
but that's what I want to know from APB. Are they going to get the people, oh, I'm hitting the wrong one. Are they going to get the people that I would expect them to get? Because, you know, we shouldn't just ask for the 84. I want to make sure we get everybody else covered in the county.
But we have a value application we started with Breezeline that they're working on.
Yeah,
And also, we signed a letter of intent with APB. And it's to get service to everyone. So now we've narrowed it down to 84, plus there's some other ones. And we have to ensure that, that's what we're doing this for, that everybody gets service.
exactly. That's my point, and that's why I was trying to say, how should we're going to put this up for the public to consume, and I want to make sure that we have, do I just put them as red dots for right now? Or, that's what I'm trying to understand.
As long as we have a legend with top clean,
I'm sorry, I didn't catch you, Nicholas.
I said, as long as we have a legend on what the dots mean, what we're representing, it doesn't matter what color.
Okay. No, but that's what I'm saying. The 159 homes that are new buildings, okay? And I don't know if that's the exact number, but I'm trying to go through this and sort out all those things. Should we be putting those in a different color and saying, first contact put in the APB information?
If they're in a service area that's served by the RDOF or VADI, then they're in a service area.
That would be easier.
They're not excluded from being serviced. It's only if they're in an area that's not being built out with broadband from either company. If there's a house that hasn't been identified, it's in a service area, they're gonna serve it if it's in the service area.
No, and I understand that. And again, for the VADI grant, we know that they are doing 314 homes. The
They're not gonna stop at 314. If there's 316 in the service area, they're gonna build 316. They're not gonna say, we got the 314, we're not gonna do anymore.
Yeah, I agree with him.
Okay.
I really-
So I should color these the color that I have?
I really do think there are some parts of this we're gonna have to actually let flesh out to see what is actually left. Because and Nick can testify to this, if I'm running a network, I'm not gonna stop my cable here and run 10 miles the other way to go catch the other side of it. Right, Nick?
No, you're right. What they have to be careful of, because, and especially when you have federal funding, and, if you guys are aware of this, is you can't, if the federal funding is for these certain areas, or, and whether it comes from the state, it's coming from the federal government via the state, that you can't use those monies to serve areas that are outside that scope area. So the scope area is not identified customers, it's a physical geographical area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there's unidentified customers within that area, I'm pretty sure they can be served. There's no reason why they wouldn't be. If they have to extend, but if it's, to your point, Kevin, if there's 10 homes down the road and there's a pole line there, if they're going to extend the line, which I'm sure they probably will, but I can't speak for them, it would have to come out of their regular operating funds of the company, not from the grant fund.
Right. And that was.
But at that
not from their
point,
budget.
to pick up those extra 10 customers is negligible compared to if they had to build, to them just for them. The grant funds are probably taking the vast majority of the CapEx away.
I agree with you, Nicholas, and that's why I'm trying to identify the ones that are essentially drops. I think we have a couple of them that I'm real concerned with getting service to.
Yeah.
You see that? When you do your colors, send them to Kevin.
Well, no question. Why don't you just do squares for one, circles for the other? Who cares about color? Use a different shape.
I like the colors because at least it points out different.
Stands out better.
Yeah. But it
Circle
doesn't
don't
stand
stand
out.
out from a square?
Yeah, well, when you're zoomed in, yeah.
Oh, shut
Okay.
There's a lot of work to be done in 18
Yeah.
months. When I look at that map, it blows me away.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
As much, but realistically, if you're riding around this county paying attention, there is, what you call it, going in everywhere. There
Yeah,
is
it
nowhere
is.
I've rode that I haven't seen conduit being
It
put in.
is, it is.
Yeah, and remember, most of the work right now is in this area that's mostly served.
Well,
Okay.
I think a lot of that, they gotta get their backbone straight to actually handle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, oh, I
And
agree.
the county needs to pass a dig once regulation.
Yeah, you guys need to pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for allowing me to
Oh, it's okay.
disturb your meeting.
No, that's why you're invited, the public's invited.
We're trying to
I didn't
understand.
plan to come and frustrated, but it
That's
turns out
okay.
like this, I'm sorry.
It's good for them to hear from the residents, the frustration.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
It's just a lack of clarity, I think, in general, where we don't know what's happening.
And see, a lot of it for us, though, is we can't put stuff out because it's,
Yeah.
Proprietary.
So I can
service.
see, I
Yeah.
understand now.
so.
So thank you so much. You've been very helpful and thank you for your time.
Tu es
Nice
française?
evening, nice to meet
Yo,
you.
parlez-vous français?
Yes.
You
yes.
es français?
I hope you understood my,
Yeah.
me with
Oh,
my accent.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway, yes, I am French. Yeah.
okay,
I'm American.
okay.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
A biento.
Bye.
Okay, we have one more thing on the agenda,
I will pull that out.
and that is, Sherry, are you still there?
I think she dropped off.
She may,
Yeah, she
may
said
have
she had
dropped
to
off.
drop off. We need a speaker to address the BOS, the Board of Supervisors,
And
for those
Sherry
who know.
volunteered for that.
And on the 30th, and Cherie has volunteered for that.
That's
I
good.
have no
Oh, we
objections.
need a vote for it.
Yeah, yes,
I
yes.
have no objections. I move that we let Sherry present to the school board, I mean, the board of supervisors.
We never voted on it.
School board,
We
too?
don't have to vote on that.
Oh, we don't, all right,
We
yeah,
don't
I'm
have
cool
to
with
vote
it.
on
She can
that.
have it.
We don't wait.
I know, I've been in front of y'all live.
Oh, yeah. I won't say it, never mind. Anyway, okay, anything else that we haven't discussed that needs to be brought up now?
Nick, you
Craig?
good?
Greg, before you
I'm
go
good.
back, I had something
Okay.
here, just to give you an